Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the April 4th, 2023 meeting of the Smithfield Town Council to order. At this time, if you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilman Hall.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Smithfield Town Council meeting. First item we have on the agenda is the informational section. We have a swearing in of a new police officer, but I understand, like a lot of us from time to time, get caught up on the James River Bridge. So at this time, Mr. Stallings?
So the activity report for the previous month is in your packet. If there's any questions on that, we'd be glad to answer them. If not, that's all I have at this time.
Any questions of Mr. Stallings? We have the upcoming meetings, committee summary reports, upcoming meetings and activities listed as well. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Dick Grice, Board of Supervisors of Isle of Wight County, to come and provide us with an update, if you would please. Mr. Grice, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good to have you with us.
It's been a while, and I apologize for that.
Doors always open.
Good evening, Smithfield Town Council. I'm Dick Grice, District 1 Board of Supervisor and your representative. Apologize for the absences the last couple of months, but I'm now back on schedule. This last month, the County Board held a work session on March the 2nd and its regular meeting on March the 16th. Our next work session will be this Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. This Thursday meeting may be of some interest to the public and yourselves, as the board will be hearing from VDOT about the James River Bridge. And I don't know what that's all about, but we're looking forward to the surprise. We will also be hearing from the Port Authority. And of course, our administrator will be introducing this year's county budget. You're welcome to attend or listen live stream in the comfort of your home. On March the 2nd, at the March 2nd work session, we announced the hiring of a therapeutic recreational specialist for the Parks and Recreation Department. This was a recommendation of last year's Special Needs Task Force. Then we held a joint work session with the school board. At the beginning of that meeting, the schools presented a proposed $5 million year-to-year budget increase, which included some rather interesting requests. Again, the work session was recorded and can be reviewed online if you so desire. It would take me several hours to get you through some of the requests. We explained to the school board that a 1 cent increase in real estate tax rates equals approximately $550,000 in revenues to the county. Not too good at the new math that they're teaching. My old math methods indicate that their request would be somewhere in the 9 cent rate increase range. Needless to say, we ended the session with the school board noting that either they adjust their monetary request or the Board of Supervisors would assist them. I believe the newest version of our budget request, I've lost my place. For those who are a little concerned about my talking about tax rate increase numbers, this is an election year. So I don't anticipate a tax rate increase. Attached is a new along with new assessments arriving here shortly. This may be the first time that we have reduced that rate in some time, just to make it neutral for our taxpayers. If you'll recall, we lowered the personal property tax last year by about 60 cents. And the adjustment has been made, and we are now adjusting back to a more normal rate. I only remember one regular board meeting, which happened on the 16th, in the past 7 years, that public hearing. Usually we have at least one, sometimes 4 and 5. This March 16th meeting was the second of those. But we still managed to get some work done. We managed to confirm appointments for the new County Energy Task Force. This task force consists of 1 member from each district and 2 at-large members. Thursday, I will be asking to expand the board membership to include 1 representative from each of the 2 towns. Mr. Smith has made this request, and I want to honor that. Forefront on this Energy Task Force agenda will be consideration of land use issues and utilization of prime farmland within the county. The hot buttons here are solar farms and gas lines. Additionally, the board heard a presentation on target shooting situations that are endangering nearby residents. This discussion will continue, and for those that are interested, yes, I own several guns, enjoy shooting, and am a member of the NRA. That organization has always, from 1871, stressed gun safety. And yes, the Second Amendment says it is a right of people to keep and bear arms, and that right shall not be infringed. It doesn't say you have a constitutional right to discharge your arm in an unsafe or reckless manner that endangers your neighbor. A study of this will ensue, and I'm sure there will be rather diverse discourse and opinions during the process. The new Hardy School construction schedule remains very tight. Pray for a lot of good weather, minimum supply chain issues, and a steady subcontractor workforce that shows up. The target opening date remains for this fall 2023 school start. The current Vegas odds are, and I'll let you look that up because they change hourly. Additionally, we continue to work with the Riverside Hospital Group. Boy, this is a tough crowd tonight. I can't get even a smile. Additionally, we continue to work with the Riverside Hospital Group without any, to this point, any DMV moments.
That was good. That was a good one.
On that note, I'll ask at the council if there are any questions or comments. Snide remarks?
Well, I didn't have any to begin with, but I got about 20 now. But anyway, any questions of Mr. Grice by members of the council?
No, thank you for the report.
Anyway, let me then wish you a pleasant evening and a very happy Easter.
Thank you, Mr. Grice. Appreciate you coming down, giving us the
Have a
heads
good
up
one.
on what's going on.
And Mr. Grice, Mr. Grice?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's quite all right. You mentioned that several times you could view the county live streamed. And in your absence, if you may notice, you can also view us live stream now. So if you want to go home and grab a glass of wine and sign in, you won't miss a thing.
Okay. May I say no promises?
Let's get us back on track.
But I'm glad you're doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Next item we have, moving around. Are we ready? Going back to the agenda, we have swearing in of Smithfield's newest police officer, Officer Brianna Jimenez.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. It is with great pleasure on this evening that I stand before you all to announce our newest member of the Smithfield Police Department. Officer Brianna Jimenez comes to us from the Newport News Police Department. Officer Jimenez's first day was yesterday. She will be going through our training programs for us to certify her as a Virginia Certified Law Enforcement Officer. So we are happy to have her on board.
Yes, so are we. Madam Clerk?
I, Brianna Menendez, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge all duties incumbent upon me incumbent upon me as police officer for the town of Smithfield, in Alaway County, Virginia, according to the best of my ability and all reality.
Officer Menendez, I am presenting you with your badge. This badge is a symbol of public trust, of those that are in the audience and those that are at home. It has taken us a long time to get this public trust. It only takes a moment for it to erode. As a new Smithfield police officer, by applying, by taking that oath, you have already committed to honoring that public trust. My charge to you is that you do not erode that public trust in any shape, form, or fashion. As long as you do the job that is asked of you, you will not erode that public trust. Serve the citizens of the town of Smithfield and Alaway County to the best of your ability, and you will help us to gain and to build that partnership that we hold so very near to our heart. Congratulations.
So I'm extremely shy. I'm Brianna Jimenez, once again. I did not grow up in Virginia at all. I grew up in New Jersey, uprooted my life, been wanting to be a cop since I was a kid. I thought I would work in Newport News. It didn't, unfortunately, and let me tell you something, God had some plans for me, because I'm utterly grateful to have this opportunity. I really am, and I hope I could help people out there like I tend on doing, and meet some great people in the future. So I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we hope to be back before you all soon and very soon with some additional good news from the police department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, back on track. I think the next item that we have on the agenda is public comments. I have a number of folks signed up. Mr. Palmer, I see that you're signed early, but we've got you on a special slot for you, so shortly after this, we'll be hearing from you, so thank you. First person signed up is Mr. Bob Hines. Good afternoon, Mr. Hines.
Good evening. Bob Hines, 216 Washington. Only thing I've got tonight is when you get to the part about the ARPA funds for addressing drainage and stormwater needs, like some specificity as to how much money and where it's going to be used, what projects we need to have done. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next person that signed up, it's a Julia, or I can't read it looks like it begins with a J, or Julian. Don't worry, sir. When I go through the line, my wife signs my name for me. I can't. I
That's
get it.
all right.
State your name, please, and where you reside.
I'm Julian Lehman. I live on 111 Thomas Street in the Lehman residence.
Good to have you here, sir.
Thank you. There's been a common concern about the DMV being built. It keeps coming up, so I wanted to address that immediately. So from what I've heard, there has been money already going into it, and the architect that was assigned failed to uphold his position. Is that correct?
What's the question?
The architect who was assigned failed to provide like reasonable
Good
drawings.
services or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm just reading your mind. I don't know that to be the case. I do know we're having a groundbreaking for the building to to start construction Friday at 12:30.
Okay, that's good.
So,
Awesome, all right. And I'm assuming, from what I've heard, a lot of people weren't happy about the very modernistic design initially, is that correct?
well, yeah.
Obviously, because the town is historic, and we would want to expect that, yes?
And they modified the initial submission. It then went back before the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission then had a special meeting, heard from the architect and from the developer's agent. And after, as Ms. Clary would say, a robust debate, the matter was approved unanimously by the Planning Commission.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good to have you. Next is Pat Sewell. Mr. Sewell, good to see you, sir.
Good evening.
Evening.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Councilwomen, my name is Patrick Pat Soul. I live at 104 Richmond Avenue in the Church Square development. Little background, my wife and I moved down here in 1986 with the Navy. My final command was the Eisenhower. It was being built in Newport News. And one Sunday, we decided to take one of the best advantages in the Commonwealth was a free ferry coming over the James River. And my wife is from Western Massachusetts, small town woman, and as soon as we got into Smithfield, fell in love with it immediately. And we had talked at that time when the kids got out of the home, we were gonna come here and settle down. And so 8 years ago, I lost my right leg, so it ended up being quicker. I had to come into a 1-4 place. So anyway, so 8 years ago, we come in, and first of all, I want you all to understand this, okay? I am not accusing anybody of malfeasance, okay? That's not the thing. My concern, since the 8 years we've been here, I came in, I just had this leg, and my goal was to be able to walk from the front of Church Square Development on South Church Street to walk down to Main Street. It was a mile, okay? Now, health issues and stuff going on, this thing has been laboring on for years and years. It's not done. I understand this last session, whoever was responsible for submitting funding missed the deadline, so now another year and another year. And I can't walk down the street because with the one leg, it's uneven, and I could trip and fall out in front of the traffic. So that's a concern. But the other thing, the big thing, my concern is down here. We came here because we fell in love with it, Smithfield. We like living here, good neighbors, and we're really comfortable. There are things that I will accuse you all with, and some of the decisions that you made that are impacting directly on our town. The things that make Smithfield so good and so beautiful is our historic area. And with this constant development, 850 homes down on Battery Park, stuff over here, stuff being done, it's like, I caution you, you're gonna ruin what makes Smithfield great. It's what draws people in. And if it gets big, we're gonna end up looking like Route 17 down on Carrollton, one big long strip mall. And I think that is a huge mistake. And again, I caution you to please take all that in mind when you're making these decisions, okay? So thank you very much, appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Next person is Terry Mulherin. Ms. Mulherin? Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. I'm Teresa Mulherin, 206 Washington Street. My first comment is a compliment. Yes. At the Planning Commission, Mr. Pack beautifully negotiated what was wrong about the DMV building. It was a surprise to that entire commission that it got through 6 meetings before it got to the Planning Commission, and it needed to be changed. You did it beautifully, you did it with respect. Outstanding job. Secondly, again, Mr. Pack, when another historic building was proposed to be demolished, even though about 10 years ago they said they were going to fix it, make it look nice, again, negotiated that, knowing that this is where our heart and soul was 10 years ago. It hasn't changed. But again, that got through recommendations, but beautifully researched so that he was prepared to comment on it. So two important compliments. Third piece, if you've driven down Washington Street where the construction is, there's divots in the road. I know they put holes in the road. You guys knew that was going to happen. But I don't know if their plan was to repave our road when they're done. So if you could please check on that. They've also dripped oil all over the street, and I know what that does to macadam eventually in our 100-degree Virginia weather. So it probably is going to need replaced. And otherwise, we're surviving the construction and one lane and road closures while we're there, not to mention the noise. Rocks have appeared in the park because they were driving out on the street, dumping in the dump truck, so there's rocks in the park. So I guess that's Isle of Wight who cuts that, but those rocks are going to go somewhere. And I think the VFW is still a bit mad at us, so you might want to check in on them. And then finally, since a project got all the way to the Planning Commission as a surprise, as you consider allowing town staff to make additional changes to proffers, et cetera, could you please work out a way that that is publicly, somewhere publicly that we can see it with time to comment back, or at least a way that if you don't like the change, you can stop it at town council. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item I have on the agenda is presentation from the Western Tidewater Free Clinic by Mr. Tim Palmer. Mr. Palmer? Good evening, sir. Pleasure to have you with us.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, and staff. My name's Timothy Palmer, and I'm a board member of the Western Tidewater Free Clinic. On behalf of the clinic's board of directors and the patients we serve, we thank you for the past support that the town of Smithfield has provided. The Smithfield Town Council, y'all have invested in the clinic since 2008. We started in 2007, and just really appreciate we're very grateful for the support and your continued support. Last year, which is the current fiscal year, is $35,100, and that covers the cost of about 24 of our patients from Smithfield through about 220 visits. And your support helps us continue to serve these high-risk patients who need us, and it's really keeping them out of the emergency rooms and the local hospitals. Again, very grateful for this support. In the 21-22 year, we served about 120 residents from all of Smithfield who received about 900 visits. Of that, the town of Smithfield proper, the people actually inside the town of Smithfield, we had about 67 patients receive 463 visits, and that's an average of about 7 to 8 visits a year. And this reflects about 5% of our total population of our patients at the Western Tidewater Free Clinic. And also residents from Smithfield receive free medications with a retail value of over $100,000. That's just in the last year, and about $77,000 in the last 6 months. That's the free medications to our patients from Smithfield. But since opening our doors, the Western Tidewater Free Clinic has provided services to about 7,000 unduplicated patients through about 200,000 visits total. That's medical, dental, mental health, and eligibility visits and consults at the pharmacy. And these patients receive more than 296,000 medications with a retail value of over $56 million. We've seen a growing need in our dental and mental health programs, actually expanding both of those now to meet this demand. We're actually expanding the clinic this year to provide an additional 2 dental chairs, so we'll have going from 2 to 4. But providing these critically ill patients with a health home at Western Tidewater Free Clinic allows them to receive care they desperately need to reclaim their lives and improve their health. This would not be possible without this council's support. Patients like Heather, we've changed her name to protect her privacy. They often have much different outcomes without your support. Heather had serious health concerns about her heart. She rushed to the emergency room. Her friend told her, hey, you need to go to the Western Tidewater Free Clinic. She certainly met our criteria. Today, Heather says this was the best decision of her life. She was seen by her nurse practitioner, Regina Jones. I know some of y'all know her. And had a woman's health visit, mammogram scheduled, first one she'd had in over 30 years. She was uninsured. The mammogram was life-changing. She learned from that that she had cancer, breast cancer. She was a Native American, again from Smithfield, undergoing chemotherapy and losing her hair were a big worry in her culture. Women at the age of 50 start growing their hair out to braid when they pass, representing the union with their creator. Heather learned from her oncologist that her malignant tumor would require radiation. She was glad at least she wasn't going to lose her hair. She didn't have to undergo chemotherapy. She's now a survivor and shares, the clinic saved my life. Yes, it actually saved my life. Without the free clinic, I would have gotten that mammogram. They would have never found out that I had cancer. May not be here today. But the financial support of this town and the community allows us to continue to serve those who desperately need us. It's about a 2,200 square mile area, all of western Tidewater. And your consideration, we're asking this year for about $25,000. It's actually exactly $24,490, and that represents about 16 town of Smithfield patients to about 153 visits. And the reason why I say, why don't you go from 35 to 25? Right? Like, that seems dumb. But what we do, we have about 5%, right, that is really dumb perhaps, but this represents about 5% of the total funds that we ask from the municipalities. So we just look at our budget, the number of people we serve, and in the town of Smithfield is about 5%, and we budget about $500,000 a year for the municipalities. So that's where he came up with that number. Now, I'm an accountant too, and that doesn't sound like a good number to me, but that, we're very appreciative. But again, it's about $25,000. And we just want to note about 67 town of Smithfield patients served in 21-22, an annual cost of care of about $97,000. That's how we value the cost of care. We have it averages about $1,450 a year per patient that we budget for. But just want to thank you again for your investment in the Western Tidewater Free Clinic. Invite any of you for a tour at the time. A little construction going on here shortly, but would love to have any of you come and visit. And again, thank you very much for your past support, continued support of the Western Tidewater Free Clinic.
Mr. Palmer, thank you for coming down and taking time out of your busy day to give us the report. And I know you probably provided numerous hours as far as oversight's concerned, so we really do appreciate that. We know, I've seen from the other side of the fence over there, the success stories that we've heard year in and year out, so we thank you. Any questions by members of the council for Mr. Palmer? I did note that Mr. Stallings was taking down that figure that you provided as soon as you provided it, so we've got it now, so anyway.
We're very fair. We even lowered our request to match our criteria, but we very much appreciate it, very much.
And to some, that might sound goofy. To us, it doesn't sound goofy. That's great, but anyway, thank you. Again,
Palmer,
thank you, sir.
yes,
Good to
thank you,
have
sir.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We have now is council comments. Members of council have comments to be made. Mr. Pack?
Mr. Mayor, I just have one. Next Tuesday's Planning Commission, we will get our first peek at the application for the Grange, the property at the former Pierceville property. It will be live streamed, and we will have, is it a public hearing, or is it just our first look? No, it's just discussion. Good, very good. So, yeah, go ahead.
Sir, did I miss you, or were you?
The list was taken when I came in. Got you just a wee bit
I'm
late.
sorry. Can I let Mr. Pack finish, and then I will go right back to you?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, Mr. Pack.
Yeah, not an issue at all. Anyhow, it'll be our first look at the Grange. We've been lots of conversation, lots of hypothesis. The application package is now online, yes?
It is.
On the town website? It'll be posted tomorrow. Okay, so it is out there. I know the planning commission has gotten it now, and we have some pictures. So I'm just making everybody aware. I know this has been a very contentious. Mr. Bryan in the back there, the chairman of the planning commission, be ready. Get some sleep on Tuesday. We got a lot to talk about. So anyhow, it will be out there. I just want to make everybody aware that this will be our first look at what's being proposed. It is not a public hearing. Obviously, you can speak to it under public sign up. But it's our first look and discussion on the project. So I just want to make council aware, and of course anybody else out there that's interested in it, we'll get our first shot at taking a look at this interesting project. So, and I'm going to say this Tuesday night, and I'll say it again now. I am in the restaurant business, and we hope to be if this project is successful to be a part of it and be in the restaurant. Therefore, I will not be voting on it. I will not be speaking to it. I will be quiet about the whole thing. So I just want to let that known out front so there's, so nobody thinks otherwise, but I will not be discussing it or commenting at all, so.
So it'll be a full recusal on your part?
It'll be a full recusal, yes,
Okay,
sir.
good. All right, thank you. And I'm sorry, I'm going to bounce back and
You're
forth,
fine.
but I'm sorry, I should have asked at the end of the public comments if anyone else was there. And the floor is yours, sir. If you'd state your name and your address for the record, please.
I am Richard Linier Sr., 101 Prestwick. Mayor Bowman, Vice Mayor Butler, council members and staff, I would like to bring to your attention an issue of public safety. The current plans for Grand at 10 Main includes open retention and detention ponds. These are commonly called BMP ponds. The proposed open pond that I'm most concerned about would be located on Main Street, across from Main Street Baptist Church, beside the Schoolhouse Museum, and across from the Church Manor apartment complex. An open pond in that location would present a safety hazard for children as well as adults. A covered underground detention pond located there would eliminate those safety issues. Requesting an underground detention pond is not unreasonable. Yes, it will cost more, and yes, it will take a little additional time. Main Street Baptist Church has an underground detention pond in the rear of its property. That decision was made because of the safety factor and then the use of the property for church functions. The developer of Grand on Main should be required to cover underground detention ponds. And when you cover that underground detention pond, you can cover it with grass, with shrubs, and with small trees. And it's usable. Safety is my main concern. We cannot replace life with dollars. I would like to leave you with an old saying that I heard many times when I was a young kid before I got a whipping. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Again, safety is our main concern. I applaud you for taking time to hear my concerns, and I look forward to voting for each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Jackson, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor Bowman. I was too waiting for, usually you all ask if there are any persons who have not signed up yet, so I kind of missed mine.
And I certainly erred there, so the floor is yours.
Well, I have some good news for you. My name is Martha Evans Jackson. I reside at 511A Cedar Street in the lovely town of Smithfield, Virginia. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, the good news is that a ribbon cutting for Wharf Hill signage will be presented tomorrow. It is an oral history and signage of Black businesses on Wharf Hill and the peanut industry and commerce. I urge you all to come out and see this. My dad, I'm very proud, my dad had a garage down at the bottom of Wharf Hill near the Booth Cleaners. So I'm putting this out there. I hope those that are listening in the convenience of your home or on your devices, would you come out and support the Isle of White County Museum and Historic Smithfield at 2 o'clock tomorrow at Wharf Hill. Thank you so much.
Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Ms. Jackson, for sure. Anyone else in the audience wish to? You were here when the sign-up sheet was there, but come on up.
It's okay.
Go ahead. State your name for the record, please, sir.
Tommy Gehring, 215 Cary Street. Two items. One, for years, we've been trying to get this, talk about the speed limit on Cary Street. And we're always told that it's the state, the state, the state. Well, I called VDOT and talked to our local representative, which is Paul Maddox. And he said, well, let me check on it and see what's going on. He said, that's not true. It stops at the county line. Speed limit on Mill Swamp goes from 55 to 45 down to 30, and 30 all the way to the stop sign at Grace. Well, he says, he called somebody, I think with Public Works, that's in charge, I don't know who it is, and talked to him about it. And he said he'd get something in writing for me if I needed it, but we need to see about changing the speed limit, because it's the only road in the historic area that's 30 miles an hour. There's 4 entrances into the historic area, and that's one of them. And it goes from 55 to 45, and then 30. And then if we could get it at 25, going from the Y down to the stop sign, that'd be great. But that's up to I guess it's up to town council or Public Works or whoever, I'm not sure. So the second thing is, for years now, I've been trying to get, I guess it's Verizon, to trim the limbs that's all in the wires going down Cary Street. And Wayne Griffin's saying he can't get in touch with anybody, never respond. And that's been a couple years ago. I finally just gave up. Well, I got a price from somebody that's going to cost me $800 just to trim the limbs so I can cut the trees down and let them fall in my yard. So I don't know if we can do something about that too. So, but it's been years, and
I'm not familiar with the vines and things. I was chief of police when we had some adjustments to the speed limit. I think the rationale was through there at that time, coming off of a 55-mile-an-hour highway into reducing it down to what we did, and then to bring it back down to 25 through that one area would be a significant decrease in that short span of time. Now, and there actually was a law, I think that it's been changed, but there was a certain amount, and Counselor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it used to be, when I was a state trooper, you could not reduce the speed within a certain period of time unless you went through the step-down phases of doing that. I don't think that's the law anymore. I think it has changed. So what I think I'd like to do as far as that's concerned is assign it to the Public Safety Committee, Mr. Hall. Maybe we can hear about it at the next meeting or whatever. Welcome you to come and speak on it at that point as well. As far as the vines are concerned,
I'd like to say something about that.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Dominion Power, I guess, is contracted Xylem. Those trucks that are up at the old Little's property, they are Xylem. I actually stopped and talked with one of their workers last week, and that's what they were doing in a neighborhood, is cutting vines down. So I'm not real sure, why they're not coming to Cary Street, but Xylem was the contractor for Dominion Power.
the reason is the power lines are on the other side of the street.
They're contracted for the power lines.
They're for the power lines, but Verizon is in charge of their lines.
okay.
Them and Spectrum, I guess, have their lines. And like I say, I've been trying for a while to get them to trim it so I can cut these trees down and get these trees from, right at the edge of the road, because
Mr. Stallings, you have a comment?
No, I was just gonna say, Mr. Gehring's right. I mean, Mr. Griffin's been working with Verizon to
Yeah.
try to get that addressed, and they've met on site several times. So we'll see if we can figure out what the holdup is on getting them to come out and trim.
Ask them if they want to come before council and speak to us. We'd love to hear from them.
I went online to try to go to Verizon, and they don't have a phone number to be able to call them and actually talk to them.
Amen.
So
I won't
That's why-
comment on that. I'll keep my mouth shut on that one.
I know you will.
Do to
Yeah.
get that moving.
But we will look into that as well. But as far as the speed limit's concerned, we can look into that in the next month or so. Just check the committee agenda, see if it's on there. But I know where you're coming from, and I understand.
I've also talked to Chief Howe about it, and from rush hour in the morning and rush hour in the afternoon, it's 30 miles an hour, but people are going 50 miles an hour, down that road.
There's two roads they do that on. They do it there, which is pretty
Yeah.
bad, and the one coming into North Church Street, coming into here between.
But
So,
that's the only road that's 30 miles an hour in the historic area. So,
We will certainly take a look at it.
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Anyone else that didn't sign up that wished to be heard? Seeing none, we're back to council comments. Further members of council have any comments? If not, I'll just say that we've been very, very busy with ribbon cuttings and other things over the last, just couple of weeks or whatever. And back to Ms. Jackson's comment, we'll be there at the bottom of Warfield tomorrow. I've already stopped and looked at the sign. The signage is beautiful. It really is. And I'm not going to spill the beans, but I know personally how much you were involved in the project and assisting some folks in getting it done, but I'll save that for tomorrow. Okay. Further comments? All right. Where are we on the agenda? Council comments are done. Consent agenda items. Mr. Pack has the first one, and that one also, if there is any comment by Jack pertaining to the ARPA funds that Mr. Hines asked about. If not, we could get to Mr. Hines and let him know, but if you can proceed.
I can do it.
Okay, please do.
Mr. Mayor, the Finance Committee this evening has C1 and C3. If that pleases council, I'll do C1 and then C3, and
Please do.
we'll bounce right through it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the first is to allocate ARPA funds to address the drainage and stormwater needs. Mr. Hines asked about, in our packet is a very detailed proposal from Blair Brothers, and I will. There are 5 of them. 204 Barcroft is a driveway pipe replacement. It's very detailed at $15,200. Item number 2 is 301 Winchester, and this is to repair a structure pipe beside 301 Winchester and reset the flared end section of the pipe. This is more extensive at $128,560. We have 310 Buckingham Way. We have some ductile iron repair. Only $68.50 on this particular item. On item 4 is at the McIre pipe. This one is to excavate and dispose of an existing failed 30-inch pipe, which is approximately 40 feet, with associated pieces with that at $45,970. And then finally at 512 Hickory Crescent is a driveway pipe replacement, again at $18,820. Normally, these items would be covered in our budget, in our capital improvement plan, but we have been fortunate to have some ARPA funds with some funding that the Public Works Department has not used yet, and they've asked to allocate this to these fundings, and we are recommending approval of these 5 projects this evening. The second item we have is item C3, which is invoices in excess of $20,000, which require council authorization. The first is for to Nostos as contractors for Wilson Road Water Storage Tank Rehab, $78,468.75. This is a progress payment. We're buying some more water meters, as we do annually, from Core and Main, $32,400. We have a progress billing on Red Point from Lewis Construction for $68,600. This is for water line replacements. And Lewis Construction again at 101 Moore Avenue, which is a new bill we've seen since Finance Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go in the fire hydrant business, you would be getting $27,769 for a fire hydrant. and a 1-inch line connection. We do recommend these items for approval this evening, and that is all we have for Finance Committee, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Pack. Any
Mayor.
questions, Mr. Pack? Next item is item C2, Mr. Jeff Brooks.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. We have up for renewal our, hang on a second, I'm having memorandum of agreement for the stormwater management here in town. And for the past 10 years, we've been participating with 17 other localities for this. I have reviewed it. Public Works has reviewed it, and I'm recommending that we stay with what we have, because if it's not broken, then don't fix it.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Any questions of Mr. Brooks by members of council? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion made by Mr. Pack to approve, seconded by Mr. Smith. Further discussion? Clerk will call the question.
Mrs. Roundtree?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Mr. Pack?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mayor Bowman?
Yes. Next is the action section. First item is approval of the summary meeting minutes from March 7th, 2023. Mr. Riddick?
Mr. Mayor and members of council, I made very minor grammatical corrections and recommend that the minutes be approved as corrected.
Thank you, Mr. Riddick. Any questions of Mr. Riddick by members of council? Made motion? Mr. Hall? Yes. Motion made by Councilman Hall to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Roundtree. Further discussion? Call for the question, please, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Hall? Mrs. Roundtree?
Yes.
Mr. Pack?
Yes.
Mayor Bowman?
Yes. We have new business. Is there any new business to come before council? We have old business, one listed and one that I'd like to bring up if we could. So the first one, old business, is the Smithfield zoning ordinance amendment, conditional zoning and proffers. Mr. Riddick, are you going to handle that?
I can, Mr. Mayor.
Please, sir.
We've discussed this at the last town council meeting. It was referred back to the planning commission. This is if you recall, it was discovered that the town code with respect to provisions pertaining to the amendment of proffered conditions did not comport with state law. We had a discussion about the Mallory Scott Farm fishing pier, which precipitated all this. Nevertheless, we've proposed language that has been, like I said, twice before the planning commission and now twice before you. Staff recommends that this be approved as presented. It provides that in the event that there shall be no amendment or variation of any conditions proffered pursuant to Article 5 until after a public hearing before the governing body. However, where an amendment to such proffered conditions is requested and where such amendment does not affect the condition of use or density, a local governing body may waive the requirement for a public hearing by a majority vote at the next regularly scheduled town council meeting. And I stress may because it's not mandatory. It's an option you may have. This language brings us into compliance with state law, and I would recommend that it be adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Riddick. Any questions of Mr. Riddick by members of council, or any comments?
Quick
Mr. Pack.
Quick comment, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
We had quite a bit of discussion, particularly at Planning Commission, on this, and to address one of Mrs. Mulheron's concerns. This matches the state law almost verbatim. Where it does not match state law is what we've added to it, and I think it was a particularly important add, and that the local governing body, which means us, may waive this requirement based on the conditions set forth. But we have to do so in a public setting, and it has to be done by majority vote. So there should be nothing behind closed doors that allows for this, and this goes for this council and future councils, and we felt that was a very important add to it, and that's kind of the only reason it got to us. It doesn't allow staff to carte blanche waive any proffered conditions. It must come before council, and council may waive the right to a public hearing. It's never too wrong, never a bad thing to have a public hearing, but they may do so in certain circumstances with certain things. But they still must have a vote in order to waive the public hearing. That helps keep it out in front of the public and not behind closed doors. We were very pleased with this at Planning Commission, and we do recommend Planning Commission does recommend the council take this as a favorable recommendation.
Questions of Mr. Pack by members of council? Mr. Stallings?
To echo Mr. Pack's comment, the only thing I would add is that there is no situation involved in this whatsoever where staff ever has the ability to waive a proper condition. So that is not what this does. It does not give us that power, and we don't have that power. So just so that's clear, staff does not have the power to waive a proper condition. Only council can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Stallings. Any questions for Mr. Stallings?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brooks?
Mr. Pack,
Yes, sir.
we've been following this for several months now, and I totally agree with you that, because I wasn't a fan of this until I learned, but I totally agree with you that we have the decision power to do it or not do it. And, you know, as being only one of, excuse me, allergies, one of 7 voices up here, I like to retain that power, the collective power to be able to do that. And I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate what the Planning Commission has done, and I'm for it.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Further comments?
I'd like to make a motion.
Mr. Smith?
The motion to adopt an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the town of Smithfield as presented.
Motion made by Mr. Smith, seconded by, is that Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Further discussion? Call the question, please.
Mr. Smith? Mrs. Roundtree?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Pack?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Mayor Bowman?
Yes. The other item under old business, any other old business by members of council? We discussed, last committee meeting, I guess, as far as maybe moving, or last council meeting, if time flies, about moving the May meeting 1 week further. I asked for it due to knee replacement. We had some discussion whether Mr. Riddick has got all the faith that I'm going to be good to go in about 4 days, and I hope so. But I am a little concerned whether I would be able to make it, and it's not a scenario where if I'm not here, it can't run. That's not the case at all. I have discussed the matter also with my vice mayor, and and I'm not going to speak for her if she wants, but she's indicated to me that she, by virtue of a conflict, may not be able to make that meeting either. Now, both mayor and vice mayor being gone, throws things into a little bit of a quandary, and I would like, if I could, once again, to ask the council if it would be okay if we move the meeting 1 week further down the road, if it causes any conflict or any problem or anything, Mr. Hall?
Mr. Mayor, in light of the statements of you and the vice mayor, I think it'd be appropriate for us to go ahead and move it.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. Further discussion?
And you're talking about moving it to Monday, not Tuesday.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's correct. Yeah. Do we have the correct date? Can we announce the date? I don't have my calendar with me. What date would that be?
May the 8th.
May 8th.
May 8th. Okay. And we have a motion second to move it to May 8th.
Ms. King, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say,
Oh.
in addressing this, if this is approved, it'll be given appropriate notice on the website and probably in the newspaper. Can we do that?
Not too much anymore.
Okay, well, we'll
It'll be
give it,
posted.
we'll give it notice as we give all other matters requiring notice, and so we'll do the best we can to make sure that everybody knows this.
Thank you, Counselor. I appreciate that.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Pack.
I know the answer to this question, but I would like to put it on record. There are no particular weighing matters on council that would be happening that evening that the public may feel is inappropriate to move a council meeting, correct?
I would think not, and I would hope that the public would feel in a better position for whatever, all council members to be here than two missing and not having the ability to have the majority that they normally have. But I'm not aware of anything that's going to be on the agenda next month.
Mr. Mayor, Ms. Clary's over there shaking her head, so that means there's no public hearings that are likely to come up.
Good for you, Mr.
And I will also add that our discussion next week at Planning Commission is just that. So that will not be to town council in May. The Planning Commission must have a public hearing at the bare minimum before they can recommend the Grange, which is certainly a contentious, or potentially contentious project.
Well, I
So
can,
that will not be in front of town council on May the 8th. That's really the point I'm trying to get to.
thanks, and I understand that. I can assure you, as I sit here, as far as that or any other development project that has the interest of the public, nothing other than an open forum and ample opportunity for comment, either planning commission. I know Mr. Bryan, watched him in action on live stream, does a wonderful job. I think in council here, the people will have their say. Call the question, please.
Mr. Smith? Mrs. Roundtree?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Pack?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Mr. Hall? Mayor Bowman?
Yes, thank you all very much for your understanding. Anything else under old business, Mr.?
I have one.
Mr. Owens?
As council knows, we're in the process of receiving applications for the treasurer position. And as such, we may be scheduling interviews for candidates. And so as provided in section 2.2 3712B of the Freedom of Information Act, wanted to announce that we may have closed session meetings to conduct interviews sometime in the next 15 days. We're allowed to make that announcement, and then as we have candidates that are available, we will try to schedule some interviews that may happen between now and committees. We don't have any set, but if there are that opportunity, we don't want to miss it with potential candidates.
Okay. You'll notify all the council members that wish
If
to.
we have the need for an interview, we will make arrangements.
Riddick, one real quick question. Does that require if we do have these, does that require a certification after this activity that nothing was discussed other than what?
Well, the meetings you have to make a certification at every closed meeting.
Correct.
But this just waives the notice requirement.
Okay. Okay.
So if we have a meeting, we will come back to the next council meeting.
And certify.
Announce it and certify.
Okay. Any other questions? Anything else to come before the town council? Here's the deal, don't leave. Anytime you see something on an agenda twice about a group photo, we don't want to get on the bad side of the clerk, so please hang around for photos. Meeting adjourned.
You don't want to be on Leslie's bad side.
Yeah, you do, absolutely.